cuffs are off, man. Get right. Too many left in these leagues, but I ain't gonna leave. I'ma get right. Get right. Down to the bottom and scratch it for all the...
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up everybody? It's Marcus Grant.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Our league. Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
And best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
But I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down, cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right, cause I roll my sleeves.
What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. I'm Anthony, aka Rasta, and this is Get Right Fantasy Network. I'm here solo tonight. We may have people pop in. We'll see what happens. You never know what can happen. But it is Monday, July 1st, man. Happy July to everyone here. It is 4th of July week, so I'm sure we're all excited for that. And the best part about that is 66 more days until week 1, until we get to see the Ravens and Chiefs kick it off Thursday night, September 5th. And it also means redraft season is upon us. We are here. Scott Fishbowl drafts are already taking place. Mine starts next Monday, so I'm super excited for that. Frank actually got in, so he'll be doing his first Scott Fishbowl. So again, appreciate you, Scott, and the Fantasy Cares organization there. Make sure you guys are going over to donate and have a chance to get in. They're still giving away spots, fill-in leagues, so if you guys are interested, make sure you guys go follow Scott Fish and Fantasy Cares. And make sure you guys check out ways to get into the Scott Fish Bowl. So I'm super excited, man. Again, redraft season. We got Tresner in the house. What's up, Trez? How's it going? We got Fantasy Fish in the house. What's up, Fish? How's it going, man? We got the Roll back. What's up, Roll? How's it going, man? Appreciate you guys for coming out here tonight. Yeah, man. And that redraft mock already. It filled in like 5 minutes, man, for Friday. So we got people sitting in there. It's only Monday. We got 12 people already ready to go for Friday. So if you guys want to get in those Friday night mocks, for redraft here, we're going to be alternating between 1 QB, super flex, 3 wide receiver, 2 wide receiver. I'm trying to get Kendall in on this to do maybe some Wednesday mocks. We'll see what happens, man. We know you guys are asking for it. So we'll be, of course, bringing those back. Kind of what got us started here so many years ago. And I think the best part that you guys love was us going through and actually breaking down those mock drafts, given our draft strategy, breaking the teams down, what picks, things you should be looking for as far as roster construction, looking for value, and of course, following that ADP to get you all prepped and ready to go for your home league. So, that's what we're here for. So again, Fridays, we're doing those mocks. They were dynasty focused in May. Again, Scott Fishbowl mocks going on through June. Now that we turn the page to July, it's redraft season. Of course, leading all the way up to our Get Right Fantasy mock draft Tournament of Champions, which starts July 29th, ending with the final finale on Friday, August 30th, which will be live streamed, of course, here. So we will definitely be looking forward to that. So if you want to get in that tournament or wanted more information, just keep tuning in. We'll be, of course, dropping that information, of course, in our Sleeper channel. So make sure you guys are part of that as well. The links are all in the description. So what we're doing here tonight, you guys, is going to be something that just gets me going. We're going for 1.5 million. We're trying to become a millionaire tonight, man. We are going to be hopping into a Ball Mania 5 over on UnderdogFantasy.com. So we'll bring up the screen here. You guys can see here. It's going. It's about a third of the way full. It looks like here, $15 million total in prize pool. 1.5 million to first place, as I mentioned. It is a best ball draft. For those of you guys who are new to Underdog or new to best ball in general, basically it's a simple, easy way to play fantasy football. Basically, you just draft your team here like you do tonight, and no season long commitment. Basically means no weekly waivers, no trades, no setting your lineups. Basically, the system will automatically set your optimal lineup for you each week. And so that's why you can draft, hundreds of teams if you'd like each year. I'm trying to hit 100 this year. And they have tournaments ranging anywhere from $3 entries all the way up to $1,000 entries, depending on what your interest is and what level you can play at. Of course, play responsibly. And when you do sign up for Underdog, make sure you guys use that promo code GetRight, because when you do, you will get that 50% deposit match up to $250. So basically, you can deposit as little as $10 and get a $5 in bonus cash, or you can take full advantage and deposit $500 and get $250 in bonus cash. So make sure you take advantage of that. You'll also get a free pick'em entry as well too. So just a ton of other fun that you can do and have there on the Underdog fantasy website or app. So make sure you guys go check that out. Go sign up using that promo code GetRight. All right. So without any further ado, let me know in the chat if you guys want to jump in here with me. We got Victorious out here. What's up? How's it going? We got the roll saying neighbors greater than Wilson and Dynasty. Very close. That is, I mean, they're pretty much kind of going back to back. I think you take Neighbors gets the slight edge because he's a little, a little younger. As far as a rebuild, if you're more in a win now, you probably would lean a little more Wilson. If it wasn't, a startup draft, obviously, it just kind of depends on where you're sitting at. But for me, I'm probably going to go Wilson because I'm usually trying to win now. But if I'm in a rebuild, I'll take Neighbors all day, and I have them in a couple places as well too. So you gotta love the talent over there. But appreciate the contribution in the chat. If you guys do have questions, drop them there. I will get to them. If you have anything, otherwise have a good time in there. We'll get this thing rolling here in the Best Ball Mania. So again, if you guys want to jump in with me, again, this is going to be a $25 entry here, 1.5 million to first place. It's going to be 30-second picks. I will count it down here by 3, and then see if we can get in one of these bad boys. So here we go. 3, 2, and 1. So we're going to jump in this thing here. So, I just missed it. So we have 11 people ready to go. Now 10. So it's going to start filling here soon. Once it does fill, we will, of course, switch it over to the draft view that you guys are used to, kind of in Sleeper. So while we're waiting for that, I do want to let you guys know about our in-season schedule. So basically, once we get done doing our mock draft grades and mock draft, Friday night mocks, starting on Mondays after, week 1, we're going to have our overreaction and waiver wire target show. So Frank and I will go through, let you know what the hot waiver wire ads are going to be, waiver priority as well as fab. So we'll get into that information there. On Wednesdays, my favorite show, it's going to be the roster management, buy, sell, trade targets. We'll also do a little Thursday night preview and give you our start sits. So we will definitely get into that on Wednesdays. On Fridays is the long show. Classic and I are here doing the game-by-game start sits. Of course, taking your live Q&A throughout all 3 of those shows. And then Sunday morning, Classic's going to have his active and inactive show, last-minute start-sit advice, live Q&A to get your lineups right before kickoff. So there you guys go. Make sure you tune in to us. That is all scrolling down there at the bottom. It still looks like we're waiting for 6 people to fill on this Best Ball Mania. If it doesn't fill here pretty quickly, we can always try to jump into, and I can probably do both actually at the same time. It's a little easier since I'm here by myself tonight. Well, we got 4. It looks like it's moving. Yeah, it looks like it's filling here fairly quickly. So again, you guys want to jump in with us, come on ahead. We can also do their schnauzer, which is the 3, it's like only a $3 buy-in, and I believe first place is 10,000. And the cool part about it is they've had like the schnauzer 3, 4, and 5, which were 10, 10, 15, and 20-second picks. So that was a lot of fun there. What's up, Dustin? He says if you want to win, grab Dallas players. So shout out to Dustin there. He says I'll join. Let me know. You're always welcome on the stream, bro. If you're trying to get up on the stream here, come on and do it. You could just come hang out if you want. Jump into Best Ball Mania here. If you want to do that as well too, get your draft on or just come hang out, bro. Anything you want to do is all good. So looks like we're waiting for 2 people here. Whew, I had 2 sneezes there. I apologize for the silence. Might not have been too bad. But we're just waiting for one more person here to jump in. The role says you should have him on the stream sometime. We'll have to get together. Shoot me a DM, and we'll see. We'll go through a process. We got a process here. Get you guys on screen. I'm thinking about doing a viewer call-in type show, which I think would be kind of cool. So drop the link in the chat and see if people want to join on. Come in and ask a question, live on the stream, and kind of see how that may go. I think that'd be kind of cool. We might try that this year. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. Dustin said, which one? If you're talking about the StreamYard link, it's the one that's live right now. Just don't shut down the stream for me, please, Dustin. If you do, if you're talking about the best ball, it's the Best Ball Mania 5, the $25 buy-in. But it looks like it just filled right now. I don't see myself here, picks 1 through 9, so that means I'm probably at the end. Yep, 111. So I like trying to be at least within the top 8, but we'll see. Oh, you said no, it's the Underdog one. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So I don't know if you got in or not. Let me know if you got in. And the role said that sounds dope. So yeah, so we'll check it out. We'll see if we can get that going. Let me see here. I think I had a cool view for this once we get this thing going. Bring up the draft view for you guys here. Oh, Dustin said he didn't get in. That's all good. You could just hang out and watch here. We'll be good. Would have been nice to get you in here though. Could have took down first and second. That would have been sweet. All right. So we have that tab going on there. Let me bring up my stuff here, get myself all situated, making myself out of the middle of the screen here. Oops, that's not going to work for anyone. I don't know if I like that view. We'll just deal with this. All right, we'll see. All right, so here we go. We got guys flying off the board. So we have Christian McCaffrey going off the board, followed by CD, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. Pretty standard there. Amon-Ra should be coming off the board here soon. What's tough here at 11, I'm going to be kind of looking at guys like maybe Puka, Garrett Wilson, Jahmyr Gibbs, maybe AJ Brown slides down to me. You have Bijan Robinson go 106, quickly followed by Amon-Ra at 107. Sliding in here. So I'm kind of looking at, thinking about what I can do later. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to be stuck taking Marvin Harrison as my wide receiver 1, so I really hope Wilson falls to me here. Would love AJ Brown to fall. We got Puka going 108, Brees going 109. At least I'm going to get Brown or Wilson, so I'm pretty happy with that. Hopefully I can get Brown. This guy goes Garrett Wilson, but oh, wow. Very nice. If you ask, you shall receive. So we got AJ Brown setting up the Jalen Hurts stack later on, probably in about the 4th or 5th. We'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. Also sets me up for some Dallas bring back in that week 17. Also sets me up for Devonta Smith. I don't think I'll get him. I'd have to reach. All right, so we get Gibbs. Ayuk coming off the board. I'm probably going to go London right here. Or I can go Jonathan Taylor, just get my anchor RB out of the way. Going to have... Yeah, probably going to go Jonathan Taylor here. I hate kind of having to do that a little early there, but we'll see what kind of wide receivers I get on the way back. Also kind of reaching an ADP just a smidge to kind of create a little bit different of a build. I have the rule saying Olave over London, so I went with neither. So let me know what you think about that. Should I went JT to get that anchor RB there, or should I just went wide receiver, wide receiver? So we'll see. All right, so I'm coming down pick 35. Yeah. All right. So Jonathan Taylor goes. I take him. Then goes Drake London, Marvin Harrison, followed by Debo. So Olave's still on the board. Olave's still on the board here. I'm trying to see what I'm gonna get at. Probably around that range. I might be looking at, So here's the thing. Derrick Henry's going about pick 31. If Derrick Henry were to fall, if he's available at my next pick, then I probably shouldn't have went Jonathan Taylor there. You're just kind of looking for high upside. Baltimore has some nice weeks, 15, 16, 17 correlation. If I can get like Cooper Kupp to fall a couple picks, 35 with a 29 round or pick 29 ADP, that would be nice. If not, I'm looking at guys like Michael Pittman, Tank Dell. I could go with the high end tight end and Sam Laporta. Then looking at Zay Flowers. But then the quarterbacks typically start to go off the board around there. Hurts is typical ADP right now, sitting at about pick 40. So I would have to take him on that turn. So I can probably go, have to go probably wide receiver. I don't think I can go Laporta there in the third. So I'll have to go best available wide receiver, followed by Jalen Hurts if I want to get that AJ Brown Hurts stack. And again, setting up some, potential Jake Ferguson, Brandon Cooks later on, maybe even, I don't even want to say like a Rico Dowdle, but we'll see what happens here. I shouldn't have to go that route since I have JT, so we'll see. The rule says this might be my dynasty talking, but he kind of likes Devon Achane over JT. So I've been a little low on Achane. My guy Kendall over here with the Fantasy Football Tavern. Make sure you guys check him out as well too. Links are down in the description. He's probably watching right now as he's falling asleep over there. If he made it this late, Tank Dell just off the board actually after DJ Moore, Christian Kirk, which I like that pick. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so he's big on Achane. Actually, after our last show, we were talking about it because we're kind of setting up a debate type show that he's going to do, which would be a lot of fun with us here. But the thing that happened, I'm not that high on Achane. I just think Mostert, is going to be a factor. Obviously, they drafted White, so I just it's going to be a shared backfield at best. I just think there's some regression as far as his metrics, analytics go. Over 10 yards per carry and all this kind of stuff. To me, it's just not feasible. He does have the speed, so we'll see. And if he does stay healthy and keeps building, he could definitely be scary. But I want to see it, for a full year. So Derrick Henry did make it all the way back to me here. So I probably should have went with like Olave London or someone in that range. So I'll just definitely keep that as a mental note for next time to maybe take that chance. My choice right now is between Michael Pittman and T. Higgins, and or I can reach a little bit and get a little unique with George Pickens. I haven't taken a lot of George Pickens, so I'll go ahead and reach a little bit, try to get a little unique build here in the Best Ball Mania 5. I could see Pickens, once I don't want to say like the casuals, but once just more fantasy football fans start getting on here and getting their drafts in. Maybe they see Pickens, maybe he makes a crazy catch and in practice or something like that, and his ADP just starts to rise. So, if I can get him here at the 3-4 turn, um, you know, could be a nice come up. So, if this guy doesn't go, and again, I'm not even that big of a Pickens fan, but again, you got to get different in these. You can't just draft with your heart. You kind of have to, just put a build together and tell yourself that story. So, yeah. So let's see. So right here, he did go Josh Allen because that was going to be kind of weird reaching over Josh Allen for Jalen Hurts, but I will take Jalen Hurts. Again, it's a 4-point passing touchdown league, so those rushing quarterbacks are going to be pushed up. That's why you see Mahomes going basically as your, QB4 off the board. You have Lamar Jackson, and I can even see Richardson starting to creep up in there if he has a good showing in preseason. So probably get some good value on Richardson now. Followed by Laporta off the board, Michael Pittman. So that's just kind of what I'm thinking. Tresner says he loves him some Pickens this year. Again, in best ball, I don't have to worry about when to start him. I'm just going to capitalize on those spike weeks. We know he can take it, to the house. He has that type of big playability. So that's what I'm looking for in something like this. I know they don't really have great week 15, 16, 17 correlation, but kind of in these early rounds, I'm just kind of drafting for pure upside at this point. Just like, Pickens' potential ceiling over someone like Higgins, who, could be capped by Jamar Chase, and someone like Anthony or Michael Pittman Jr., who doesn't really have that much touchdown upside. So, we'll see what happens there. So he says every week's a spike week when Deontay isn't playing. Yeah, and then there's that too. So yeah, no Deontay this year. So if he can get that volume along with his big playability, it could be a scary combo. Just worried about the quarterback there. Not so much Pickens. I mean, I've had conversations off air, just as far as, maybe the way he carries himself and being a teammate. And you had him kind of quit on that, on the play, the big play last year where he just, made a what do they call it, a business decision and didn't want to throw a block. Those are just kind of guys that I don't generally root for. But again, I'm trying to win 1.5 million. So I kind of try to throw that stuff, out the door. You can't think so much with your heart. You got to kind of think of your head. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it pays off, man. Hopefully it pays off. He says Pickens is so underrated. He'll be a first-round pick next season. Mark his words. So Tresner calling his shot. I love it. We need to get a shot board going on getrighff.com. So you guys can go on and call your shots over there. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Might have to add a segment, a call your shot segment. Maybe that's what we'll do. Have the fans call in, call their shot, a call your shot, call in a segment. So hopefully someone's writing that down and remembers. So we'll see. So Tresner said, do it. All right, man. It's good stuff. All right. So let's see where we at. It's kind of nice being at pick 11 here. I can kind of take a break and look through stuff and see how things are going. Let me know, guys, too, if my audio is good and all that kind of stuff. I didn't really get to do a sound check with other people. So if it's not sounding great, just let me know. And I can try to do something about it. But yeah, so if we're looking at what's coming up here, I am about 5 picks away now. We've had the major, quarterbacks come off the board here. We're starting to get kind of into that wide receiver dead zone here a little bit. I have pick 59 coming up. I'm looking at guys like Calvin Ridley, guys like Josh Jacobs, James Cook. And this is also why I didn't really have to probably go JT there. I could have been sitting nice with 3 wide receivers and Jalen Hurts right now and still get, someone like James Cook as my RB1 in a best ball isn't too bad. The problem is here, I probably should go like James Cook over someone like Godwin. But I'm actually going to go ahead and probably take Godwin here. And if I can, hopefully get Jordan Addison on the way back. Um, I just want a piece of that Minnesota offense. They're going to just, I don't care who's at quarterback, they're going to throw it. But hopefully, you know, it could be a little better. And I like the Godwin stack because I find myself drafting a lot of Cade Otton later, and it kind of sets up that Baker stack for me. Later on to kind of have that Baker Godwin Otton stack and just get a little extra value for waiting on tight end for as long as I do. So that's kind of my thought process there. Unfortunately, I have to pass on like Rome Odunze, but I'll take the number 2. Over Rome. The number 2 in that Minnesota offense across from JJ. He'll get the volume, but Addison showed he could do it. If something does happen to, JJ, he can be the one, and he should benefit from all the coverage being rolled over to JJ. So we'll go ahead and take him. So now I'm sitting with, after 6 rounds, I'm sitting with 4 wide receivers, AJ Brown, George Pickens, Chris Godwin, and Jordan Addison. I have my anchor RB with Jonathan Taylor, and my QB and Jalen Hurts right now. So feeling pretty good about this team so far. Let me know what you guys think. Feeling pretty good. I like, that I'm set up. I have a little bit of flexibility here to go either running back or tight end, depending on who's available here with my next pick. And still be able to get at least 1 wide receivers within my next 2 picks to stay within, the 5 wide receivers within the first 8 rounds. Is kind of where you want to be at. So we'll see who ends up falling to me here. Kind of take best available. I'm going to be pick 83 and 86. So let's see who I'm going to have available around then. So I'm going to be looking at a pocket of guys like maybe Evan Ingram is there as far as probably best available tight end. Maybe someone like Kamara falls a little bit there. Going to have a wide receiver in Keon Coleman, who I like. Maybe Christian Watson, if he falls, I'll probably take him. I like his big playability and best ball. I can go Aaron Jones if I need to for correlation. I don't love it. Ramondre's okay here as well. Jameson Williams, another big play guy. Have that Jake Ferguson for a little bring back for that Philly Dallas kind of matchup. Coming around the turn. So we'll see kind of what happens. Still 9 picks away, but that's kind of what I'm going to be faced at. I do have Najee here. I could have some Najee Pickens correlation, but I'm not really trying to invest my $25, $1.5 million on this Pittsburgh, a ton of this Pittsburgh offense. But you never know. Sometimes that could be the winning way. Just not on this build for me. All right, so we see Watson go off the board there. Jones, everyone's going off the board basically. Kamara's fallen just a bit. Actually, I think he's top right now. David Montgomery's fallen a few picks here. It's going to be interesting here. Might get a little quiet. Let's see. Tresner says the Browns Hurt stack is deadly. I agree. Great team so far for sure. I'm sure I'll find a way to screw it up here, but I appreciate it right now. He said personally he would have went MHJ instead of JT, but either way it's good. I am kind of feeling that now because I did like like Derrick Henry was available that next round. So definitely, in that 11, 12 spot, you'd probably get away with going wide receiver, but I kind of have JT on the last of that tier. I still have Henry under a tier just a smidge, just there. The rule says the Bears wide receiver room is going to be like this: DJ Moore, wide receiver 1, Odunze, wide receiver 2, and Keenan Allen in the slot. So I'm on the clock here. I don't want to miss my pick. I'll get back to that in just a second. I'm probably going to go Jameson Williams here and then see if Jake Ferguson falls to me. The guy in between my picks already does have a tight end. Oh, no, he doesn't have a tight end. I was one wide receiver. It was cut off on me a little bit. But again, Ingram's there, so I doubt he's going to double tap tight end right here. I do like potentially getting Brooks here on the way back. You got Jalen Warren again, just setting up this Pittsburgh correlation. But also too, reason why I went Jamison Williams. I get that Week 17 shootout with San Francisco, which should be interesting. So yeah, so we see Curtis Samuel go off the board. He has Josh Allen, so you kind of expected that stack happening there. And then, if anything, he'll probably go Ingram. I doubt he's. Oh, he did take Ferguson. Wow, that was tough. All right, so I think I might panic pick Ingram right here. Where am I sitting at? I have my 5 wide receivers. I could get my tight end. Let me see where we're at with running back. I'm not totally sold on anyone here. I don't feel like I need to reach. Ingram has fallen a little bit in ADP here. I'm getting him at almost 78, and we're at pick 86 here. So kind of a unique build. We'll go Evan Ingram there. I mean, he did lead all tight ends with targets last year, so we'll see how it goes. Let me adjust the board for you guys there. See what's going on. Can't believe I got sniped for Ferguson right there, but is what it is. Got to be able to pivot. Tresner says Keenan Allen on the bench in a cast. That is kind of funny. And no, Dunze is going to smash his ADP, man. And when I get into redraft, man, and best ball, I try not to let my dynasty thought process, because you've been processing so much on all off season. You're, doing your research. You're looking at, film. You're watching everything. You see where they go. You start seeing the, telling the story and seeing their path to everything. But Caleb is still a rookie. I mean, unless he comes in on fire like our boy CJ Stroud, who broke, all the records basically. I mean, are we expecting that? Just, that's not the normal. Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson coming in doing what they did right out of the gate. These guys are super special. Like, it's just hard to just assume that that's going to potentially happen. So again, I love him, and love him just as a player, as a person. Seems like a real cool dude. And I just love him as a potential asset there. Next year. I mean, I think he'll have his weeks here this year, but where he's going, I think it's still a lot of these dynasty heads still, showing that value. Again, like Brock Bowers going 93 here to me is too much of an overpay. So, again, I just think these rookies are pushed up just a smidge. Also, kind of why I didn't go MHJ there, like Tresner was saying, instead of JT. I just like taking guys that I know have kind of seen it and done it, and you kind of know what to expect out of them. And I take my risk a little bit later. There's guys I want to pull later in the draft, like Jamison Williams, and it allows me, to do that because, I have those solid picks, up top, and I'm not wasting that, so to speak, on a potential, And so, yeah, I mean, we'll see. Sometimes you're going to be right. Sometimes you're going to be wrong. I'm never going to be completely right. But I've been fairly successful here in this best ball thing. So we'll see what happens, man. But this is why we play. Caleb said, or Tresner says, Caleb Williams is Stroud 2.0. No? So there we go. He says, I fully expect 1,010 as a floor for MHJ. I hope so, man, because I do have some teams that have them. Don't get me wrong. I have some puppies and a couple other teams that have them. Of course, you're gonna have some pieces here and there, but yeah, I'm gonna get a couple more best balls in there, and I'm sure we'll have an opportunity to get MHJ. But wasn't feeling it on this build. If JT didn't hang there for me, I probably would have went MHJ. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. So after my Evan Ingram pick, we have guys like Cortland Sutton, Jonathan Brooks, Khalil Shakir, Zamir White, Rashid Shaheed, Jalen Warren, Brock Bowers, Zach Moss, DeAndre Swift, and Jordan Love go off the board. Little QB run here with Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, and Jaden Daniels all coming off the board. Trey Benson comes off the board. James Conner, who actually I was kind of looking at there, would have been a nice pick for me, I think, in this build. So kind of sad he kind of came off the board there just now. But let me see what I'm kind of looking at. coming up here. We have guys like Romeo Dobbs, who I probably wouldn't mind. I got my boy Brian Robinson Jr. here, who I'll probably end up taking. If I can get Dobbs and Brian Robinson on the turn, and if I strike out on Brian Robinson, I'm okay reaching on Tajay Spears. I just like the potential with Dobbs and Love there a little more than, these next wide receivers that are available. Mike Williams, Jacoby Myers, Brandon Cooks, who I said is a potential for that bring back game. So maybe I go Cooks because after that it gets real tough. I mean, there's guys like Gabe Davis, which I could have some correlation there with Evan Ingram. But Brian Robinson did fall back to me. Pick 110, ADP of 108. I will go ahead and take him. So right now I'm sitting with Jalen Hurts, Jonathan Taylor, Brian Robinson, AJ Brown, George Pickens, Chris Godwin, Jordan Addison, Jamison Williams, and Romeo Dobbs. And at tight end, I have Evan Ingram. So we are 10 rounds in, 10 picks. I have my starting lineups. I'm at a 1-2-6-1 build so far. So I'm looking for maybe one or two more wide receivers in this build. I need one or two more tight ends, one or two more quarterbacks, and probably about 3 to 4 more running backs. And we'll see. I like to stay within that 2, 6, 8, 2 or 3 type build. I don't know if that all added up to 18, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. So where do we leave off here? Tresner said, I'm surprised you don't get more 49ers. Where their value is, and I feel like I have to it's hard to take the fan, goggles off. So I feel like besides like Christian McCaffrey, like this is the first that I've really seen guys like Ayuk and Debo really pushed up the board. When I was on Debo the year everyone was Ayuk, and then when everyone started going on Debo, I switched to Ayuk. Now they're kind of both going in that same kind of range. So I try to stay away from them. Again, the volume's not quite there. It's so much efficiency. So just I'm chasing more volume for the most part. And I mean, I know there's supposed to be a high-powered offense. There's just so many mouths to feed, so it's hard to kind of just concentrate on. It almost seems like an injury needs to happen for everyone else to almost kind of break out, so to speak. Besides CMC, so in that passing game, I'm usually not taking tight ends where George Kittle goes off the board, and there's just other wide receivers I like, a little better. That again, if they cost me games, I don't have to get upset with them because they're on my team still. So it's kind of hard to kind of do that. But if like Ayuk or someone fell to me at crazy value, then of course I'm gonna take them. But for the most part, they're not lining up with their ADP's not lining up with my evaluation on them. So I'm not necessarily fading them. I just find myself targeting other players around them. Where they're going. So hope that explained it just a bit there. Tristan says, what do you think about Swift this season? I'm kind of on the fence about him. Sway me one way or the other. So let me get this board fixed, and I'll do my best to probably confuse you a little more here before my pick comes. So DeAndre Swift, man, they're going to want to establish a run in that offense. He finally, had his most carries over, 220 something carries, I think, last year. Missed some touchdown upside, of course, playing in that offense, behind one of the best lines. The Chicago line is, improved. I think where you're getting him for his value, last year he was going at like almost the 2-3 turn. I think that was way too expensive, which is why I faded him last year. But this year, things could be, a little different. Queuing up Dallas Goedert right here as my tight end 2 to get the triple stack with Goddard, AJ Brown, and Hurts. So there we go. So probably done that tight end now. So because I've waited so long on QB, I'll probably end up taking 2 QBs. So I'll probably be smashing running backs here. I don't know if there's any really left to smash, but we'll take some kind of 0 RB type throws here. Sorry, and I'll finish my take here. Oh, Is this where we take a chance on someone like Chubb in this kind of build, this type of tournament? Uh, I feel like I'm reaching so much for all these guys. I almost feel most comfortable with Ty Chandler here, so I'm gonna go with Ty Chandler. Reaching a little early on him. Yeah, I guess you can say trying to get a unique build, but I know Dallas, Philly, that whole thing, but I just Zeke, I can't quite get myself there. I just can't do it. Dowdle, maybe, but nah, I'll go Ty Chandler. I kind of like Ty Chandler there. All right, sorry. So DeAndre Swift. So I mentioned the line, improved line, obviously, threat of a quarterback there. He doesn't really have too much competition there. It would be nice if Khalil Herbert actually, gets traded maybe, during the preseason, before week 1 actually starts. That would make me feel a lot better drafting him in my redraft leagues. If that happens, and hopefully, it doesn't skyrocket too high. I still kind of like Roshan Johnson as far as the passing game, but he almost seems like a DeAndre Swift light, if anything. So I don't mind him where he's going right now. I don't think you have to like really overpay for him, and I find myself actually taking him quite a bit because I do typically go hero or zero, type RB builds. Whether it's a dynasty startup, I'm typically going zero RB builds, so I find myself kind of grabbing him later on as kind of my quasi, anchor RB, which I kind of call my villain RB when you're taking your anchor that late. Um, Kind of like a modified hero RB. So yeah, so I don't know if that helped or confused you a little more about Swift, but I don't mind him in a nutshell. But I'm not like going out of my way to target him or plant my flag saying he's gonna go nuts or anything this year. So we'll see. We'll see. Um, Here, you guys can see the draft board good, so still a ways away from me. So I went Ty Chandler. Then you had Jalen Polk, Justin Herbert, Matt Stafford, Zeke, Marshawn Lloyd, Kendre Miller, Pat Fairmouth, Josh Downs, Rico Dowdle, Luke Musgrave here on the turn. So you like to see these tight ends keep going off the board. If we've already passed Herbert and Stafford, I gotta start looking for that QB2, which is looking more and more like Baker. So I'm gonna be picking at 155 and 158. So we got guys like Goff, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, and then Baker Mayfield. So he has an ADP of 169. And 169, and K Dotton goes about 175. So can I pull this off? I might get frozen out on Otten, which sucks. I can pretty much guarantee it if I go Baker Otten right here on this turn. I just don't know if I want to reach that early. I still do need a running back, and it is getting very thin on running back. I do like someone like Jaleel McLaughlin as a potential guy who could break out in that offense with, who knows what's going on with Javonte Williams there. Then we're looking at Nick Chubb still on the board, ADP of 141. We're at pick 149 right now, still on the board. Got guys like Tyler Algier still here. Kamani Vidal, Reed Davis, Antonio Gibson, maybe someone like Chuba Hubbard. You got J.K. Dobbins, Elijah Mitchell, the aforementioned Khalil Herbert. Tyrone Tracy's down here. Maybe he loses or he wins the job over there over Singletary, but Singletary's been pretty solid. Roshan Johnson, the other aforementioned. And then it's just getting ugly. So I don't know if I can really pass on anyone. I think I have to go Jaleel McLaughlin here and at least hit my 4 running backs in a quasi-hyper fragile build. Because anyone I take after this, I'm just hoping is going to be the next Kyron Williams. So we shall see what happens. Come on, Jets fan. Take a Jet, not Jaleel McLaughlin. All right. So Jaleel McLaughlin, I think one of my most drafted players this year. I get him at pick 155, 2 picks past ADP. And then I think this is where I may need to 169. I don't think Baker makes it back to me at 179. Maybe Otten drops 4 picks from a 175 ADP to a 179. I don't really have another need right now, so to speak, besides running back, but it's pretty gross. So I either take Nick Chubb as my RB5, which is probably the smart thing to do, just in case he comes back. And then let's roll the dice on Baker Mayfield, because I don't quite need Baker, but I do need someone to come out and be a good running back. So if I don't need him at the beginning, I have B-Rob and some of these other guys to maybe make it through. I think that's honestly my first share of Nick Chubb, the first time it kind of made sense for me. So I got him at pick 158 with an ADP of 141. So who knows how much farther he would have fallen, but yeah. And I couldn't reach, with Cousins and Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun still on the board. Yeah, just hoping Baker and not make it back on my next turn. So got to get some backup plans in place just in case. So let me adjust the board here. We'll get back to the chat. Any questions, comments? Let me know what you guys think so far about the team. What would you have done differently? And here we go. All right. So where did we leave off here? So the rule says, call me crazy, but can you make an argument for Malik Neighbors over Puka Nacua in Dynasty for the prospect profile and the sky-high talent alone? I think so, because while Cooper Cup's still there, who knows if he's still truly the one? Because if you look at the splits with Nacua and Cup on the field, Nacua still did well, but it wasn't like that complete high-end usage. I think there's still something there. Like Stafford's not going to just go away from Cup. They won a Super Bowl together. If they traded him, I think you can make an argument, Puka over Neighbors right now, depending on how much more time Stafford has. The only thing is they're both kind of in a situation with their quarterback, so it's kind of hard to project like who their next quarterback's going to be. But yeah, if you just want to talk about just prospect profile and just raw talent, I think that definitely goes to Neighbors. But you can have all that talent and do great. We seen what Puka did. I'm a believer in seeing stuff and believing it versus someone saying, oh, they should do it and potential, right? So I think as of right now, Puka over Neighbors makes sense. But again, depending on your build, I could see how, if you had Puka and you wanted to get like Neighbors and maybe like a second or something, I think someone would be maybe happy to, pay that, especially if they were more of a contender, versus, keeping Neighbors on their team right now with Danny Dimes. So we shall see. And of course, there go my quarterback and tight end, which I don't really need because I have Dallas Goedert. So I didn't really need that stack. I could go 3 tight ends here. Who else do I have? Can I find any other correlation here? I might just have to go and unstack Geno, which is kind of gross. But at least it gives me another quarterback for the bye week. So let's just go Geno so I don't get completely frozen out at quarterback. I don't love it. And then what I can do actually is can wait to grab McConkey later or JJ McCarthy later. Gosh, I need a running back so bad. You know what? I'll just take a chance with someone like J.K. Dobbins. Let's just go J.K. Dobbins. Conklin goes right after, who I had queued up, but I don't need another tight end. I forgot I took Goddard. I feel pretty confident with my 6 wide receivers, but I do need to get kind of 2 long shots over here. So I'll probably finish up with 2 wide receivers, or maybe a wide receiver and a quarterback with J.J. McCarthy. So let's see who may end up back to me. So sorry about that. So I hope that kind of answered who you were looking for on that. So I kind of got into my pick there, so I apologize if I left off half thought. Let me know where I was at. So yeah, let me know. Compared to Puka, who just might be hyper targeted. Okay, I have second part of the role. I think I mentioned that. Roll says team's looking solid. Yeah. I mean, there's a couple rough spots there. We'll definitely take a look at it here with just 2 more picks to go. And then he says Dobbins sneaky pick. I mean, yeah, could be maybe the quote unquote passing back there. Could be the Austin Eckler. We know Gus Bus doesn't really catch any passes. We'll see what happens with Vidal. But yeah, I mean, if JK is healthy, might have written him off like people did Christian McCaffrey when he kind of hit his little slew of injuries there. I was big time on J.K. Dobbins last year, and just couldn't get right. So hopefully he gets right this year and brings us the 1.5 million home. Man, might be awesome to say that was the pick. I think it's probably because I just waited on running back a little too long, but I could have taken a running back there instead of Evan Ingram. So I pick 86 when I went Evan Ingram. I could have when I missed out on Jake Ferguson. I think I was just kind of dead set on getting that bring back with Jake Ferguson. I kind of panic picked Evan Ingram, so to speak. Maybe I could have took someone like Jonathan Brooks, who could emerge as a RB1 towards the end of the year, over just a tight end, so to speak. There were guys like Zamir White. They'd have Jalen Warren that was available there, Zach Moss, the aforementioned DeAndre Swift, who all kind of went 5, 6, 7 picks later. So yeah, looking back, maybe I could have went running back there, as well as swapping my second and third round picks and maybe going someone like Harrison or London or Olave, and having Derrick Henry available to me there in the third at pick 35. So I mean, it could kind of go either way there. But yeah, it's getting nasty now. Guys like Bo Nix, Braylon Allen, Mike Gesicki, Javon Baker, Jelani Woods, Alan Lazard, Darius Slayton, all coming off the board here. It's 3 picks away. My last pick is going to probably be J.J. McCarthy to tie in Ty Chandler and Jordan Addison. But I can use a wide receiver here. So maybe someone like Devontae Walker here. I have a lot of Bateman, but just in case Bateman doesn't work out, we can go Devontae. There is Jalen Tolbert for a little bring back in that Philly Dallas game. That is kind of interesting. Now let's just go Walker. All right, so we'll go Walker there, and then we'll finish it off with J.J. McCarthy. So should have probably went Jalen Tolbert, but hopefully Devontae Walker. I mean, I just like the opportunity he could become the number 2 there behind Zay Flowers and be kind of that deep threat, so to speak. So yeah, maybe someone like Jalen Hyatt I could have took a chance on. Yeah, I don't really see anyone else there. So yeah, so we'll finish off here with J.J. McCarthy. Maybe he wins the job by the end of the year, and he and JJ and Ty Chandler go crazy for whatever god awful reason, I'll have it. So there we go. All right, so that'll do it. What's up, Bakes a Lot? How's it going, bro? How's it going? Good to see you. The role says surely not playing this 4th round ADP a couple of years ago. Definitely not. I believe that was in regards to J.K. Dobbins. And then Eric says, I'm out on JK unless he falls behind someone like Algier, and I have Chargers or Patriot. Yeah. Like I said, he was my RB6. I needed someone because I waited so long, and I could just see a path where he could just have kind of a week here or there. I don't really need it, so to speak. I can ride the coattails of my wide receiver room, my quarterback, and at least hopefully Jonathan Taylor. Obviously, you're assuming all health and everything goes exactly correct with all these guys. So let's read it off. So I have Jalen Hurts, uh, Geno Smith, and unstacked Geno Smith, and then JJ McCarthy. I have Jonathan Taylor as my RB1, Brian Robinson Jr., Ty Chandler, Jaleel McLaughlin, Nick Chubb, and J.K. Dobbins. So definitely taking some dart throws there with my RBs 4, 5, and or 3, 4, 5, and 6 really. Oops, to a different screen here. All right. So the draft just ended. So my wide receiver room, which I like here, AJ Brown, George Pickens, who I don't get a lot of, but felt like you uh, made this build. So AJ Brown, George Pickens, Chris Godwin, Jordan Addison, Jamison Williams, Romeo Dobbs, and Devontae Walker to round it out. And then my tight ends, Evan Ingram and Dallas Goedert to go with my Hurt stack. So I ended up going with 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 7 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends. 5 of those 7 wide receivers were taken within the first 8 rounds, which is why I only had to go with 7 there. Allows me to go with that third QB and hit that 5 to 6 running back mark. And because I felt real confident with the wide receivers I had, I was able to throw in an extra running back there. And again, because I spent up for Evan Ingram and then got Dallas Goedert down here, I only went with 2 tight ends. So yeah. So let me know what you guys think of that build. We're just coming up on that hour mark, so I do want to thank you guys all for coming out and hanging out here, and anyone watching after. If you are watching right now, like on Twitter or something else like that, come on to YouTube, hit that subscribe button for me. Would really appreciate it. We're doing mocks every Friday for our Friday night mock series, and then we have our mock draft breakdowns and doing our grades and draft strategy and roster construction. So if you guys want to be a part of that, make sure you hit me up. What else do we got here? Of course, got to thank my boys, our new additions here to the Get Right Fantasy Network. Have my guys, Kendall and Phil, with the Fantasy Football Tavern and the Extra Point. The links are down in the description. Make sure you guys go subscribe to their channels. You got Kendall focusing on mostly, Dynasty and Best Ball. He's a mock draft fiend, just like us here at Get Right. So it was a great match. So if you are looking to enjoy some hot takes and cold beers, be sure to tune in to Kendall with the Fantasy Football Tavern. And our boy Phil Ruskin over there with the Extra Point. We all know everyone likes scoring those touchdowns, but you got to come out and kick that extra point. So tune in with the Extra Point with Phil Ruskin live on Thursdays, because that extra point can be the difference between a win and a loss. So I appreciate you guys supporting the other guys here on the Get Right Fantasy Network. I think I saw another comment come in here. So what do you think of Evan Hall in Dynasty? I heard he tore his MCL along with his ACL, and now Trey Sermon is leading in OTAs for the backup role to Jonathan Taylor. So yeah, actually, we just did a startup auction draft, and I actually took Trey Sermon along with, because I had drafted JT ahead of that. I since then sent it first with JT to upgrade to Bijan, and I still have Trey Sermon sneakily. So if anything does happen, we'll see. But when Sermon came in last year, if you actually watch our best ball that we did, our Scott Fish Bowl for charity on Friday, I was actually going to take him with my last pick in my best ball team, but the guys talked me into kind of Will Shipley instead. But Trey Sermon could be that sneaky little name, because like you said, Evan Hall's down. They didn't really invest anywhere else. That could be, if he doesn't really show up very well here in the preseason or have a good camp, maybe that's where someone like Najee, well, I don't think Najee would go there, but maybe someone like Khalil Herbert could go over there and kind of be the backup someone like that. So, got to keep your eye out for one of those type of things. But yeah, I mean, I think he's a nice little sneaky pick. Just someone to kind of really keep your eye on. He could be a, waiver wire ad. So if you do have, an extra spot, then I will, I would definitely look into grabbing Sermon again. So remember, Sermon had the draft capital. He was drafted ahead of Elijah Mitchell for the 49ers, as you know, or as maybe you do or don't know, but as I know. And so obviously it was kind of tough to see his downfall over there, but, got some new life. I think he went to Philly and then now Indy. So, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm not big on guys, coming off that MCL and ACL. It's kind of, sounds very Nick Chubbish there. I don't remember the injury myself, just right off my back. But I know he was one of those hot ads, last year. And then, that's when Zach Moss came in and kind of stole the show. So yeah. So hope that helps you out there, Mr. Bakes a lot. Hopefully we'll get you in here one of these mocks soon. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Of course, check out our boys over at trophysmack.com. Get yourself one of these rings. If you take down your championship, trophysmack.com. And when you check out, use that promo code GetRight. That'll help support the channel. Otherwise, man, just keep tuning in for us. That's what helps. Keep bringing people with us. We do have that mock draft tournament of champions that will be starting July 29th. Doesn't cost anything to get in the tournament, but you can win $50 cash. Our boy Rafi Baum is the reigning champ from last year. Got our boy FFT AJ was the 2022 champ, and then the original champ, aka Lou Champ, was our very first person to win it back in 2021. So if you want your name etched among that list and you think you have what it takes, come draft with us throughout the month of August, leading us up to the start of the season. And again, take down the moniker of our mock draft tournament of champions champion. All right, guys, from all of us over here at Get Right Man, from my boy Frank, who's still kicking it out in Nebraska, getting his fish on, to my boy Classic Mike, who'll be back here on Fridays. Got my boy Tycoon. I believe he's out of town. Got people doing stuff, man, this summer. It's great to see and great to hear. So again, we appreciate all you guys, our boys again, Phil and Kendall, over at the Extra Point Fantasy Football Tavern. So again, for all of us, I hope you guys have a good night. Be safe on your 4th of July. Thursday, be safe so we can come back here and enjoy ourselves on Friday with our first redraft mock of the redraft season. So peace out, everybody. Let me cue up the outro, and we'll see you on Friday.
Wanted to write fantasy is the play. Marking nothing, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided.